Funne Amogus Levol. Infinite lives. Alright. It sure is an awful lot of lives. Alright. Cool. Let's go to the Funne Amogus level. Okay. Alright, so Amoguses are death. A lot of lives does not equal infinite. That is true. But it's effectively enough for us. Hopefully. Sus World. Sus World is icy. Sus World contains block snakes. This is actually kind of annoying. Oh, Layer 3 Scroll, how you inspire us all. Alright, so Amoguses are literally munchers. I think I want to be up here. I'm not sure. It's really hard to tell. I did not want to be up there. But I know what to do now. So I got that going for me. I need to be small, though. Maybe I could have done that. Wait, there's another option over here. I guess this is what it is. There's an awful lot of options. They're all going to take me back here. I have to find the right one. It's probably going to be somewhere silly. Oh yeah, right. I don't want to be embiggened. Moons only gave one life. What was the award? I don't actually know. I'm not sure where I have the award strings. Also, how you doing, Fries? Okay. I was near the end of the level, I think. Rejected. Probably should, if this was a real thing, in a real... I mean, the fundamental issue is if someone makes something like this in a real hack, you already know the hack is going to be an absolute shitpost. Like, it's probably a troll hack. Most sussy hack. Thank you. I know I have these strings somewhere. Because QLDC1 was the first time I went and wrote a script to manage the assorted levels on YouTube. And I know that I have the award strings in there somewhere, but I don't have them in front of me, and they're not in Ampersam's GitHub for the contest. If it's actually an award, I can take a quick look. I think most sussy is most likely. Not SD2SNES, Pi3 QLDC. I think that's it. Open. Those are all the names. Awards. Okay, so they're awarded based on that, based upon the player or the hacker name. Most sus. You were close. This is the most sus. I don't remember, was it like one of the judges came up with a bunch of awards? I kind of thought I'd try doing something similar in other contests, but I've always run out of gumption halfway through. Especially if you're doing like QLDC or something, because it's a lot harder. There's a lot less room to be terribly unique when everyone has to use the same graphics. But yeah, this is silly. Doesn't help me that I'm being dumb, but you know. After playing the puzzle level, I deserve some dumb moment. And spend some time doing the blonde thing. Really blonde thing. Stereotypically blonde thing. Anyway, I've seen Legally Blonde, so I know that blondes are not all stupid. Definitely the case. Nuts. Call an emergency meeting and vote out this level. You know, I don't know where the button for that is on my Super Nintendo, but if I could do such a thing, that would be pretty awesome. It's an integration that wouldn't be remiss. Okay. Alright, well, it's not the end of the level, so that's good to know. I shouldn't have... Maybe I should have done that? Why did I have a Yoshi? It's the power button. It's a switch on the Super Nintendo. There's a power button on the Super Famicom. Honestly, the Super Famicom just seems like a solider system if you hold the two together. It just seems like a better build. Much as I like the Super Nintendo. Also like the muted grays and purples. It's a very weird design choice when you really think about it, right? Because like the Famicom goes all hog wild with its colors. It's like, yeah, here's most of them. Red, green, blue. Yellow. Most of them. Oh, this might be where those moles are from. Alright, so there's space down there to exist. That's good to know. What? Love how old hardware is more sturdy? Yeah. I mean, it depends. The stuff that survives certainly survives and is sturdy. I imagine there's probably some consoles out there that weren't terribly well made. I have no idea which ones they are. Oh, Game Gears? Are Game Gears solid? Legitimately have no idea. But like, especially as they get more technologically advanced, you're looking at like more ways for things to fail. Especially at certain points, like you had issues like the big great capacitor plague, where like capacitors just were not reliable because of bad capacitors. It's a really weird story involving industrial espionage, something you wouldn't necessarily expect. Oh, that's what I'm supposed to do. That's... But yeah, basically bad electrolytic fluid. Somebody from one of the Japanese fabs, called fabs for making capacitors, foundries, had stolen a formula, but it was an incomplete and wrong formula. This is how the story goes, at least. They'd taken it to a Chinese company, and then the Chinese company used that, but also got it wrong again somehow, and he took it to like 2 or 3 different companies, so there were a bunch producing electrolytic capacitors that were just bad. And would frequently explode. This was like early 2000s, I think. How would I... Yes, of course I know about that. It was an important event that happened. I mean, I guess I don't know about all important events that happen in all sorts of politics, but for computer nerds, yeah, the capacitor plague was a big deal. Especially for people who like to build their own PCs. You didn't exactly get to have a warranty suddenly when your motherboard dies. God, it's so hard to see what's going on when there's projectiles. Would have been nice at the level. I ran out of time. The thing with the balloon. No! I'm talking about capacitors. So there are a few different really tiny important electrical components. There are resistors, there are capacitors, there are inductors. These are all used to manage power in various sorts of ways, and they're kind of important. There's also the transistor, and the transistor is the anything gate, really. But that's more complicated and not as important for the story. But capacitors effectively store energy in a particular way that's useful for computers. And other things. I think I'm already toasted. I need to be a lot faster with only 100 seconds on the clock. And I have to wait for the mole. Triangle mole. Triangle mole. But the way capacitors work is kind of magic. I fell off. Second person you've met that know about it? Really? Huh. But what happens is, so what it is inside a capacitor is basically you have two different surfaces separated by some sort of space. Typically, it could be empty air, I think, if you're talking really primitive capacitor or vacuum. But typically it's filled with a certain type of fluid that prevents the charge from leaking across. It has something, I think. Honestly, it's been a while since I've taken EE classes. Oh, I've already screwed up, haven't I? Wait, I did the opposite of screw up. I got more time. I should have Yoshi eat more of those berries. But yeah, they store charge, and that the electrolytic that particular fluid, when it's incorrect, will eventually sort of expand. And when something is fitted into a specific space and it's not supposed to expand, it results in leakage, which is bad. And once the fluid leaves, the capacitor can no longer really function as a capacitor. And so it wasn't uncommon in the 90s or early 2000s to look at a motherboard that was failing in some weird way and be like, oh yeah, just your caps are all bad. Oh, this was so worth it. I have plenty of time now. Well, plenty is probably a strong word. Nowadays they use Baja juice to store it due to electrolytes. What? Yeah, it's something like that. It's like Baja Blast, but worse for you. That's close enough to the truth. Inductors, on the other hand, are much easier to actually, resistors are the easiest to understand. They're just wires that have higher resistance than normal. Inductors are actually pretty cool, though. They're basically wires and use magnets. They're really, what's the word I'm supposed to use here? Basically, they induce a magnetic field in between two different surfaces. And that is used to... Oh, that's how I can be a bit faster. To also store energy. Except it doesn't store charge, it stores current. It's weird. I cannot jump off that mole consistently. Used to play a game that taught you about PNP or NPN and such capacitors. I've never been that deep into hardware and electronics. I mean, it's not easy when you actually start delving into the physics and electronical engineering stuff. Actually doing things with capacitors, resistors, and inductors and other things. It can be difficult, but there are like cookbooks. There's certain levels of like understanding you can attain even without the knowledge of the physics. So it used to be pretty common for people just to use op-amps for a lot of stuff, because op-amps were really good for various problems you wanted to solve. Proud of how stupid you can be. What am I doing? I'm arranging the apples to maximize apples. That's what I'm doing. Okay, so I need to use the middle one if I want to turn the mole around faster. I might just jump off the mole. See, like that, the problem is I end up on, like, the tip of the nose. Alright, well. Nope. It's actually a really tricky level once you add in all the annoying scrolling. Yeah, I took physics classes and EE classes years ago. I haven't retained nearly as much as I wish I had. That explanation was really bad. And some of it's the explanation that only like an EE person would give you. It holds charge. What does that mean? It means the voltage doesn't sag as badly. It also helps with filters. You can use them to build various types of filters. High pass, low pass, mid pass, band pass, multi-pass, Xbox pass. Also, when you're using things, capacitors are way cheaper than inductors. Another one of those things that's kind of important. Screw that up again. The constant text into hindrance, especially when there's like projectiles, but there hasn't been a lot of projectiles. I could easily see a level like this being really obnoxious by including a lot of piranha plants. But thankfully it didn't. Knock on wood. But I mean, this is just scrolling layer 3 around. One of those, once you know what the effect you're looking at is, it's pretty straightforward. And the reason I know it's that is because I can see it ending at the HUD. The HUD is also layer 3. And typically things that you do silly HUD tricks, or that are various like environmental effects and whatnot, are also layer 3, but they always cut off at the HUD, assuming that you're using the layer 3 HUD. There's a sprite-based HUD that some people use. I don't know why I'm trying to do that way. The game was called Last Call BBS. Oh yeah, no, I love Last Call BBS. I still haven't beaten the entirety of it because I didn't really care for 20th Century Food Court. But yeah, Zachtronics games are a good time. But yeah, the chip maker thing is literally just learn how to lay down transistors. Basically, they had a bunch of ideas about games to make, and none of them seemed big enough to really be like their last game, because they want to make their last game good. So they ended up just kind of like going and doing a bizarre set of them, which was fun. I would have preferred another proper Zachtronics game, but beggars cannot be choosers, sadly. Yeah, that jump is not difficult. I just need to do it. Also, there was another one that was using cellular automata that was really tricky. One of those, I know what you want me to do, but also the theming of this is really gross. It was all about growing the new flesh. Something, Videodrome. What in the world do you suddenly want from me, game? Oh, did I destroy the key? No! Shoot! Oh, did I need the key to go through the pipe? I probably needed the key to go through the pipe. Yeah, Shenzhen was good. I haven't played enough of Shenzhen. I got really into TIS 100. That one was a lot of fun. Shenzhen I didn't like because they were hiding stuff from you at the beginning. Like, here are some really useful instructions, oh yeah, and commands, but oh yeah, lol, we're not going to tell you about them. Biopunk? What was it called? Exapunks. It was probably my favorite. The TIS 100 is really close. Did finish the dungeon one? Yeah, me too. The dungeon one's just fun. I'll still, if I need like a time waster, go roll some new dungeon puzzles. Because they added a random dungeon puzzle button. And it's fun, so I do it. That could have gone better. I saved power up. Nuts. Never finished the flesh one because it asked you to do half bone, half skin, and you weren't aware of how to split up the bone base cell to do both. Yeah, it was definitely one of those, like, you had to understand exactly what they wanted you to do, and having some background in cellular automata stuff would probably be helpful. But it's one of those, like, it's very much a programmer type of thing. Effectively, what you're doing in that one, I forget the name of it, it has a really weird name, was you weren't setting up the initial conditions of a puzzle to be solved. You were stating how various cells, and I'm overloading the term here, but various, like, positions in a 2D map get up there. what should happen when a certain thing is next to something else. So the game of life is very straightforward. There's only really two states, alive or dead. I messed this up horribly. It's not that bad. But because you only have two different states, it's a lot easier. And then there's the rules or something like, if you have this many cells alive adjacent to the cell, then it dies, or the other one lives or something. It's not a complicated system, but what you get out of it is insanely complicated. The game of life can be used, is Turing complete, for instance. There's a beautiful, if you want to spend some time reading about weird computer science stuff, post on this Code Golf Stack Overflow, where they managed to implement Tetris in it. Which, when you think about it, is something that probably shouldn't... What are you supposed to do here? Okay, so that's a sprite killer. I can't go through there. Like, what is being asked of me at this point? It gave me a key. Was I supposed to key jump over this? I'm actually a bit stuck here. Game of life, you had to do at uni. It was an exam for basics to programming. Yeah, implementing the game of life is fairly easy. Implementing things in the game of life is not. The Tetris thing is really impressive. What they ended up doing was... How did it work? It was something along the lines of they implemented Wire World in the game of life, which is a different cellular automata. Then wrote a compiler... No, then they made a CPU in Wire World to run everything. And that compiled down to the game of life. And then... What did they kept doing weird things. And then I think they actually just wrote code. And you would do inputs by putting certain cells into certain locations. It was a beautiful piece of insane programming. Alright, I may have to turn on cheats because I just don't know what to do at this point. Yeah, this mole is not even a slope. You can't slide down the mole. I feel so cheated. I also can't make a jump off a mole. So disappointed. Ah, get up there. Nope, whiffed it. Yeah, really cool post. I'm gonna try and grab the fire flower in that earlier section to make a dash on the muncher with the eye friends. I don't think the fire flower would make it much easier. Like, having two mushrooms works about as well. I'm not worried about time at this point. I just have no idea how to proceed. Other than maybe I'm supposed to ditch the Yoshi early, so I'm not possibly riding an invisible Yoshi. Like, I need the Yoshi here unless I'm going to burn through that. I also want the Yoshi so I can, you know, get all of this extra time. Yeah, there's some sort of, like, sprite killer thing there, but sprite killers don't work perfectly on Yoshis, because Yoshis are not simple sprites. If Mario's riding one, I think. It's also going to read Kappa's message, but I completely spaced on doing so, and I will do so once I die again. How is it that one that throws me off? I mean, aside from being desunk from the rest. Pokey does make it better. Okay, so a bunch of fire flowers fall here, so I'm pretty sure that's a sprite killer. Maybe what they're expecting me to do is, like, key jump over this, and I don't want to do that. Favorite Sudoku solving channel on YouTube has been streaming Dungeons and Diagrams. It is so good, honestly. All right, so we're going to take a look with cheats, and then if we can't figure out what to do, we'll move on with our lives. Is Sir Hold 1. All right. No, I am not supposed to do that. So that's good knowledge. I think I am still supposed to, like, try and enter this. Nope, that also sprite kills. I am baffled. Like, absolutely baffled as to what it wants me to do. Maybe go back? Maybe it's a block snake here? No, sure doesn't look like it. Is there an answer to this? I thought maybe, like, you need to glitch through that. I can scroll the camera. That is a degree of freedom I'm given. Do you think the sprite killer goes with it? It's possible. Don't have any sprites to test it with, though. I see something up there. I don't see something up there. Something weird happened there. How many entries I've left? 41, if we count this one. How you doing, Max? Damage was going to the pipe. The area under the pipe is dead ground. It's not ground. You can just when you walk through it, it just goes. Like, maybe there's some space down there that I could access. I should have tried it with the water, so I have a little more leeway. We're at a point where I'm turning on hacks because I just legitimately do not know how to proceed, and this is a weird level. Even for this contest, this is weird. But yeah, I realized, looking at some YouTube stuff, I'm like, I got halfway through this contest and completely stopped. So, figure doesn't hurt to come back to it. Oh yeah, I wanted to ditch Yoshi early, see if that made a difference somehow. I don't think it does. I think that the sprite killer is persistent. But can't hurt to try. Pokey intrepidly rides his mole towards adventure! I think you do need that little extra bit of height from coming in at the right spot there. Okay, I spawned a mushroom and it immediately exploded. Ah, I think I understand now. I stepped on a block snake without noticing. Okay. Do I want to be up here? That's a coin. Is that active? I don't think it's active. Can I collect that coin? He was indeed a honeypot. It definitely threw me off. Maybe I don't want to be up here. Maybe nope. Maybe I want to try to land down there. I passed it? Not by not touching the key. There was a block snake that I was not paying attention to at the bottom of the screen. I'm still glad I cheated to figure out that I wouldn't need to do any key jumping. I don't want to do any key jumping. I'm not good at key jumping. This track is from, actually. Mildly curious. This is also good to know the Yoshi doesn't matter. There we go. Gonna wait on our auto molar. Whoop. And whoop. Right on, intrepid mole. Right on! My intrepid mole has abandoned me. Ironically, the mole was also named Intrepid. Okay. Well, I think being small actually might not be a liability here. Right. It kind of looks like they want me to have a P switch at this point. What the hell is all that crap? Oh, that was part of it. That was just the left side of the... I briefly was like, what? Where did that come from? No, it's just part of the layer 3 scroll. Okay. So we know what to do now. We mostly know what to do now. The wood grain on that looks weird to me, honestly, the more I look at it. Okay. Focus. Pokey, focus. Focus. Okay, so I'm pretty sure we've got the basic premise down. Get our bonus time using the Yoshi trick here. Like, this level looks like map 16 garbage in a lot of ways, but there's definitely some thought put into it. Let's look up who the author was again. I know it's on the screen, but I can't see it. It's someone whose work I know. Yes, it did just go honk. I don't know why. Okay. Boy, I sure would have loved to have kept that. Okay, so we come down here. We ignore that room. I think I just go up there. I think I can ignore the run up if I'm good at this, maybe. Those actually worked. Does it give me a midway? Hopefully. Alright, so what's happening now? Where do I spawn? What happens? Does anything change? Yes, yes it does. Odyssey K. Oh. Is that the name of the song? Alright, we'll just swim over here and hopefully we'll drop somewhere cool. Wait, what? See? Smart. Oh, they have a carrot, thank you. Okay. So I got the midway. I think I want to go into one of those pipes. The pipe tripped me up. What if I don't think I've played anything else by them. But that's not uncommon. A lot of people entered a lot more contests in like the 2000 and 2021 frame. Like OLDC, with the one I did, I think it was OLDC 2. The one I judged was, how many was that? It was like 125 entries. Later OLDCs have been much smaller. I can tell you, 125 OLDC levels is a lot of very, very samey levels. Just wait. I'd say I'm not in a big hurry, but apparently I really am. Okay, not gonna get tripped up by the pipe this time. Alright, cool. I was right about the pipe. Where is this going? I don't trust that. In there. I think I want to get... Nope, that's wrong. Down? Okay. Well, shoot. You know, I didn't turn that on myself. Not this time. Alright. Taking bets. Who thinks this is actually going to work and who thinks it's going to kill me or do something silly? Definitely didn't work. This puts me at the beginning of the level again. Alright, well that was the end of the level. That was a really weird level. What's up, Dill? How you doing? I'm really glad we went in a circle. I am not going to save. I don't need to save. That was weird. Even for Amogus levels, that was weird.